Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the Extra Yard. And why is it a special edition? Because this wasn't planned for at all. We could have done a regular show tomorrow, talked about whatever was going on, maybe try and preview a Falcons game that doesn't matter to literally anybody because admittedly the Dolphins season is all but over. But we are here to talk to you about Deshaun Watson. We have to address it. It keeps coming up. The rumblings are getting louder and louder. And if you want to hear more Deshaun Watson talk, you must check out the latest 3 yards per carry, which is out. You can find that on literally every single platform. If you want to know even more about their thoughts, make sure to check out OnlyFins. I get literally all of my Dolphins information from OnlyFins first. Whatever I see on Twitter, I go check out OnlyFins and I say, oh, look at that. I got a leg up on everybody else. And I don't share it because you're not supposed to. But make sure to check those two things out. We have Alfredo here today. Alfredo, Deshaun Watson. I mean, it's looking like it's going to happen really freaking soon. Your thoughts on the whole situation?
Yeah, I guess they finally got desperate enough and somebody's actually going to pull the trigger on it, right? There's nothing definite. Like, you're not hearing it from Schefter, but you're hearing it from some pretty good sources.
Yeah.
John McClain, Mark Berman, those guys are top notch. Mike Liss, who's a Denver beat writer, he was on this too. Armando Salguero has part of a story that I can corroborate and we can corroborate on our podcast, which is that they've been seeking a partner for Tua to take Tua on, and the asking price is a first round pick, by the way. So, there's a bunch of names. You heard them on the podcast. We mentioned New Orleans. We mentioned Carolina. Washington football team could be a team. So, yeah, it seems to be very, very, very real. And it should be happening. Like, that's every indication we're getting, which is really odd that these people are making decisions based on one game where your young quarterback played well in London. But that seems to be the driving force.
It is. And, we've talked about Deshaun Watson slightly on this show before. I've given my thoughts on the matter. I'll let most others speak on it before I do. But if I'm just going to sum it up for myself, it makes me uncomfortable. And I said this on Twitter, and then I'll say it again. To say that any person that feels uncomfortable supporting the Miami Dolphins, if they do go through and acquire Deshaun Watson, and saying that that person is not a real fan of the team is a ridiculous statement. That is not true at all. And I don't think you should be going after anybody that for their own personal beliefs feel like they have a hard time supporting something like that. So before everybody gets spicy in the comments and everybody gets spicy everywhere else, that's not what this is about. This is not ride or die with the franchise. Sometimes you can disagree, think something is a mistake, and have a hard time supporting it after that. That is just the truth of the matter. And that is most likely where I will stand if a move like this does go through. So those are my quick thoughts on it. I'll throw it over to you, Kai. I don't know what you want to say about the matter. Obviously, we'll have a lot of time to discuss it here, but what are you thinking?
I mean, I think that everyone has kind of clearly known what my thoughts have been on the whole situation. Like, I've been very clear from the beginning that I believe that Deshaun Watson is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL and nothing will ever sway me. However, unfortunately, as multiple have stated, and the truth of the matter and the facts that are being presented to us, that's not the only thing we're dealing with. I think we can all agree, and I am one that doesn't have sources. I'm never going to act like I have sources. But I think, Alf, if you can kind of touch on this, I think that we all believe that if none of this had ever come out, if Deshaun Watson, let's say, settled and nothing came of it, that he would have already been a Miami Dolphin before the draft, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm guessing that the momentum and the push behind it was pretty strong. If nothing had ever happened, I think Deshaun Watson would have already been here, probably before the draft. Although, to be fair, all the reporting that we've done and everything I have heard is that the Texans received offers from the Carolina Panthers and the Miami Dolphins. And there's also some people out there that think that the Eagles were involved, and the Texans rejected those offers as not good enough before the draft. So I don't know if he would be a Miami Dolphin.
I feel like these are the outside things, and those off the field issues are just it's too much to kind of take on right now. And I think a lot of people have mentioned it, and I would like to say that it is true. Like, if you do this, you're gonna have to go out there and explain to all of the female staffers that you have with the Miami Dolphins, like, why you made that move. Like, you can't just, I understand that, look, the NFL is a business, you do what you do, you do what you do, but like, you have to go out there and you have to explain to all of those staffers why you traded for Deshaun Watson and kind of like have that plan laid out. You can't just make a deal like that and just be like, yeah, we're gonna have this person in the building, and allegedly this is what he's done, and he's you never one of these days he's gonna walk in on his first day, he's gonna say good morning to you, and you're gonna have to kind of like deal with that, I guess. Essentially, like, it's just it doesn't make sense from a legal standpoint unless they heard something from the commissioner, or if it is desperation, like the last time when he was down here for the Colts game. I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense that they would know. But at the same time, if they had gotten any indication from the commissioner that he wasn't going to be suspended, don't we all think that like this deal would have been done that like the following days afterwards? Like, it just, if even though if he does get completely cleared, that there are some things still on the line there. Like, if he's completely cleared, which seems impossible, then yeah, you send it in. If not, like, there's a lot that has to be asked to kind of explain that and go about it. And I know people have been trying to use other situations and talk about it. Like, there are other quarterbacks, there are other players that are in this league right now that have had similar issues. Ben Roethlisberger has had his issue in the past. Antonio Brown has had his issues. Like, there are things that we've had where like it's serious. And I feel like there are too many people that are looking at it just on the strictly football side. And you have to take into account everything, because the Dolphins, yeah, they play football on a football field, but they're an organization from Stephen Ross all the way down to people who are picking up trash on the field from water bottles. I said, like, it needs to be cut and dry, for a fact that he's completely clear. And I don't think that that's gonna ever happen.
And I'll say this now before we go on to anything else. I want to kind of break up what we talk about into different pieces, right? I want to talk about Watson himself, what he brings to the team in all aspects, right? Because you have to take all of it. It's both the on-field performance and the fact that he is undoubtedly one of the best, if probably top 5 at worst quarterback in the league when he's playing and he's healthy and he's good to go, right? You can't take that away. You also have to talk about everything that's coming with him from off the field, because that does matter. It is going to affect things. We do also have to talk about the front office and this coaching staff, because he's going to have that same front office and coaching staff that we've been ripping into for weeks now. And I think all of us can say that this conversation is not about, at least right now, from our part, it's not about Tua versus Watson. This is just about what that brings with him. And my theory is this, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, Alfredo and Juan and Kai. To me, it's not so much at this point that Deshaun Watson is dying to be in Miami, right? Because he was before, but that was when Miami had hope. Now you're looking at a Miami team that everybody looks at differently and views as a pretty bad team. At this point, I feel like it's not so much, oh, I want to be in Miami. It's Miami's one of the only teams that's still willing to trade for me and still wanting to play me, so I'll go wherever I can play. I don't know if you view it differently from that, Alfredo, but that's the way I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah, I view it differently. I think Deshaun Watson looks at this team, and players don't think that way. They don't look at, oh, now they're 1-5, so they're bad. No, they think they're the difference. They think that if they were here,
especially a quarterback.
Yeah, especially a quarterback. If they were here, they'd be 5-1 and not 1-5. And I'm talking about every quarterback would think this. This brings me back to, you talked about Deshaun Watson and everything he brings here. NFL quarterback, starting franchise NFL quarterback, is very different position than any other position in any sport anywhere else.
Not for Flores.
Except for Flores when he drafts Tua Tagovailoa and he treats him like the second string defensive tackle. Or, in fact, like Zach Sealer. He treats him like Zach Sealer or Adam Butler, like anybody else, right? Jerry Richardson, when they drafted Cam Newton, number 1 overall, he was the owner of the Carolina Panthers before he sold it to David Tepper. He talked to Cam Newton. He says, look, we're going to take you number 1 overall. You're going to be now the face of the franchise. You're kind of like the president of our area. You're the president of the team. You're the face of the team. I don't want you to get tattoos. Don't get into any trouble. If you need a ride from somewhere, I will pick you up. Here's a phone number. You have a plane at your disposal. He made it everything possible for Cam Newton to be as comfortable as possible in Carolina. And Cam Newton talks about this, and he says that he always liked Jerry Richardson because Jerry Richardson was honest with him from day one, where Jerry Richardson basically told him, "Look, you're the franchise now. Like, whatever you do is going to reflect on the rest of us."
Yep.
That's how most teams view their starting quarterback, except this one. We'll see. We'll see if they do go through with this and they trade for Deshaun Watson, how they're going to trade him, how they're going to treat him. My suspicion is that as soon as he gets here, they're going to put a C on his chest, they're going to kiss his ass, and they're going to have all kinds of, ads, and who knows? They might even put a mural of Deshaun Watson on the stadium.
I don't think it'll. You think it'll be instantly that the Dolphins will do that? I think they'll wait a little bit.
Yeah, they'll wait a couple games.
Yeah, like a 3-game win streak. Yeah, for sure.
They'll definitely do it to start next year. To start next year, it'll be Deshaun Watson all over the place. They'll do for him what they didn't do for Tua, and what they probably should have done for Tua.
Right. I mean, you drafted him 5th overall. You'd think that you could at least try to tell him, we believe in you as our quarterback. They started a different guy. They benched him multiple times, and immediately they started talking about trading for a different quarterback.
Yeah.
After, what was it? 9 games? 11 games?
Less than that. The Deshaun Watson stuff started as soon as the season ended.
Yeah.
Started in January.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think all of us on this show love Tua in our own way. Even you, Juan.
Yes.
You do. You do to a certain extent. And I think all of us back in January would have said it makes sense to go out and get Deshaun Watson. He is a better quarterback. We believed what we believed about the defense. I mean, with him on this team,
everything was gravy till March like
till
13th. I think it was 13th or 15th. I can't remember.
And that's when everything started going down. And I'll throw it to you, Juan. What do you make about all this? It's your opinion. What do you think?
There's a lot to think about, right? There's a lot to like analyze and look at, and a lot of different lenses that you can kind of put on and get different, thought processes and results. I feel like it's almost, and I think CK kind of joked about it, but it's almost like, well, Mr. Lincoln, outside of getting shot, like what else did you like about the play? And it's like, it's tough for anybody to sit here and say, well, Deshaun would be an improvement over Tua because it's obvious. But I mean, you can't just say that without also adding the fact that we have to deal with the allegations. We have to deal with the court, the system, and everything that really isn't in our control at all. You would think that the team that makes this kind of move would have some type of understanding of what's really going on, and not necessarily like a breakdown, but like kind of like analyzing the situation, having their own independent investigators and doing all their own research. Because if you pull this move off, you
gotta feel the mood, Royal. It's a bit more somber today.
Yeah, it is. Mayo didn't get that much love.
I
so
am the
wanted
mood
to give you love.
Nah, it's somber today.
Yeah, we're in
bro.
mourning.
Nah, this is a bad time.
We're reading
this is a real
today.
bad time.
Bro, I got producer power today, so I can let myself in and out of the program, bro.
We getting lit, Royal.
Oh yes, it did. Look at me.
I'm
gang, Kendall.
Okay. I'm sorry. Y'all go ahead and y'all finish y'all eulogy. The Heat play basketball.
Yeah, basically, it's a tough situation, right? Like Mike, I not to put you on the spot, but I think at one point we said that you probably wouldn't be a fan of the Dolphins if this goes through. And the more that time goes on, the more I understand you and I feel you and I get you, right? I've also seen people that are all, just full on, let's go Deshaun, and those were the same people that were like, let's go Jacoby and let's go Fitzpatrick. So it's obviously just like an anti-Tua thing. It's a lot. It's a lot, and you would hope that the Dolphins wouldn't be making this move out of desperation, but it just reeks of desperation. It just reeks of like coming back to the negotiating table with like your tail in your ass, like just like beating up and saying, okay, well, like what do we have to do? And it's like now the Texans got full control, and it's weird because in all his time, Greer has, in my opinion, always won trades. There's never been a trade where I could look at it and be
wait,
like,
sorry, real quick to answer Todd, in the words of Thanos himself, everything, literally everything. So you can keep going, Juan.
yeah. I mean, no, that's about it. I mean, I've ranted.
Raul, you just hopped in here. I'm sure
Yeah.
you know what's going on. I'm sure you've
Right.
seen it all. Your
Right.
thoughts on the matter?
So look, like I said last time, I'm a Tua believer. I believe Tua will eventually find his bearings and become a really good to great quarterback in this league. And so it's sad to see the way that this shitstorm is kind of developed around him, and the situation that has led the Dolphins to. Like Juan said, this situation reeks of desperation, because this isn't a fix to what has gone wrong for the Miami Dolphins this year. This one move is not a fix. However, allegations aside, I think this is a great starting point. If you're going to go get a quarterback, you might as well get one of the top 3 talents in the league. In terms of the allegations, it's tough. It's tough to say what I would do if I was in that position, because that's not a situation that you want hanging over your organization's head, especially when you're going through a stretch like the Dolphins have gone through. Like, that's not something that you want to add to this media shitstorm. And that seems like that's exactly what they're going to do.
To me, it feels like they think it can't get worse, and they're like, "Fuck it." At this point, like, just
like we at rock bottom. Might as well throw them on there.
Well, and to Darth's point, this needs to be explained to everyone. I think at the very least we deserve that.
I think he's gonna hide behind Greer.
I'm not saying he's going to. No, time out. I'm not saying he's going to, but I think all of us can agree this trade goes down. I need to hear from every one of those 3. I need to hear from Ross.
No,
I need to hear from Greer, and I need to hear from Flores.
You're gonna see
and I need to hear their thoughts on the whole thing.
Yeah, you're gonna see a press conference with all of them. If the media has kind of like the balls enough to like ask the questions that need to get asked, I think that's separate. But I think there'll definitely be a big ass conference. I kind of walked in here kind of late too. Did we talk about like what exactly the parameters and like the Tua moving?
No, we're just going over general feelings right now.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah, we're just kind of going over general stuff right now.
I'll be honest. I'm probably in 5R probably the one that was hardest for DW.
Why'd you say it like
there's
that?
a little bit of pun in there. But I think with DW, I think right now isn't the right time. If you're gonna sell me on, well, Tua's just not the guy right now, and we need the guy right now, then you're telling me you think that we're losing games by maybe 2 or 3 plays. Because realistically, that's what Deshaun is really gonna change. He's not gonna go in and it's not gonna be literally the Chiefs and Mahomes. Like it's not like we still got the same guys. We still got the same guys that don't know the plays. Everybody's gonna be dealing with the battle line. But if they're pulling off this move, they're saying, we're 3 plays away in each game. That's a swing. We get DW, we maybe get those plays. And then B, it's, well, this will really save our jobs. And I think we talked about it yesterday where we were like, if you had to keep Greer and Flores and get a new QB, or, the opposite, and it's looking like it's going to be Greer and Flores with a new QB.
And that's
I got a question though, because this question is specifically for Alfredo. Sorry, Michael, but like, I don't know if you guys already went over this, but if this news is coming out, doesn't that mean that the Dolphins probably have a pretty solid idea of what's happening in terms of the allegations with Deshaun Watson, or is this just solely just like, fuck it, let's try and do whatever we can?
Well, here's the thing. The grand jury is deliberating some of these charges, right, to see whether they're going to bring charges or not. There's no way that Stephen Ross knows about what the grand jury is going to say or do, because like I told, like I said on the podcast today, my wife was in a grand jury once, and she's through some pretty high profile drug cases. And like I said in the podcast, it wasn't about a guy selling a dime bag on the corner. It was, trafficking cases, cartel cases, massive seizures of millions and millions and millions of dollars of cocaine or cash or guns or assets or even human trafficking. And my wife was explicitly warned every single week she was on the grand jury, and she was on there for about 6 months. She was told every single week, you don't leak anything to the media or to defense counsel, or you'll be sharing a jail cell with the people that you indict. And so how could he really know? Maybe Watson's attorneys are selling a bunch of goods to everybody else. I know they've been telling anybody that will listen or can listen that 14 of the cases are going to get dropped. Okay, and that they're going to get dropped soon. Okay, well, that's nice and that's good. That leaves 8. How do you explain the other 8? How do you explain the 2 criminal the 2 criminal complaints that are sealed and nobody's talking about? So yeah, I think that I don't know how the move gets made unless there's going to be a lot of pick protections. That's the only way I can see it happening. Unless also that the Texans are unloading a bunch of assets and for us to take Deshaun Watson, because in the end, they do want to get rid of that contract no matter what, especially before next year. Yeah. They want it for the offseason.
It's not bad this year. It's 15 mil. They could stomach that this year.
Yeah.
Next year's when it starts to balloon, I think 21 and then 28-ish, 29.
Yeah, they need that money to start building a team, a competitive team next year. Well, because you got to figure they're going to have a high pick that they could use on a quarterback, and then they're going to need that money. So they got to get him off the payroll as soon as possible.
And this kind of leads me to my next point, and the next thing I think we all need to analyze, which is the Dolphins in this trade are most likely going to give up a decent amount of early round picks. We don't know the exact amount yet. There'll probably be 1 or 2 players in there, maybe. But picks is really the compensation that the Texans want and that they're most likely going to get. We've sat here for 6 weeks now going over how badly every decision that's been made over the past 2 years has turned out. From draft picks that were made that are not good to coaching decisions that have been made that are not good. I think all of us can agree Deshaun Watson does improve this team. But Deshaun Watson doesn't overcome the fact that all of the decisions made up until now have been bad, and we have no reason to believe they are going to get better. Does this team get significantly better and really get to the point where we are Super Bowl contenders by adding Deshaun Watson and really with whatever other assets we have, almost nothing else? And I'll start with you on this one, Alfredo.
It changes the team completely because how I told you once that I spoke to Matt Burke once and that he said he wanted set and forget players, guys that he could just start, he could just play, and he doesn't have to be constantly teaching to. I get the sense that this coaching staff doesn't really care too much to teach anybody anything. Okay, so it changes the disposition of the entire franchise from we're bringing up a young quarterback, which they've done a terrible job of doing. Okay, well, whatever success Tua has had, he's basically gained it on his own.
Yep.
So they go from that. They go from trying to bring up a young quarterback to having one that's already ready made, and by having one that's already ready made, Deshaun Watson. I hate to say this, but it's the God honest truth. He's a magnet. He'll be a magnet for those good players on smaller deals, just like Tom Brady was.
Just like Will Fuller.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Maybe you wouldn't even have to pay a Will Fuller $11 million.
Hell no. You'd pay him.
I'm giving him
like $3.5.
I'm giving him a Victor Oladipo contract. I'm giving him a minimum. Go tell me you can stay healthy.
So what you're gonna see happen is, are they gonna become Super Bowl contenders? Maybe not right away, but they're absolutely gonna be a lot better right away.
No,
because what's gonna happen is, like I'm telling you, it's gonna be that Tom Brady effect, and now it's Miami. Okay, so you get to sell Miami, you get to sell the tax situation in Florida, and you get to sell Deshaun Watson. So there's going to be a receiver out there. Look, Julio Jones has been a disaster in Tennessee. Who's to say that he just says, you know what? I'm opting out. I'm going to go to Miami for $5 million. Like something like that could happen. So, yeah, I think it does make them better, and it makes them Super Bowl contenders in the near term because they are going to get a lot of help just because of who he is and who they are.
Okay. I guess my thought process is more, it doesn't fix the fact that they still can't draft or sign an offensive lineman that's good.
But I mean, would you really need to at that point? Like,
he hasn't had an offensive line in Houston.
Well, not even just that, but like we've seen that Greer cannot draft.
Right.
Like we can all agree to that. Like, why even give him more draft picks? Like at this point, I feel kind of good taking him off his hands. Like, well, I know you're not gonna fuck it up. I got a sure thing, you know. And
well, we know he has no clue whatsoever what he's doing on the offensive line.
Yeah, for sure.
Now he has had. Now let's be fair. He has had some success
in the later rounds. That's what I'm saying. I want him to have all the 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks he can have. Like,
well, although this year you could say, you know, he had some good picks this year, and last year passed the 2nd round as well.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I just think that it's not us thinking it, right? Like it's literally what Flores and Greer are sitting there and looking at the team and saying, what changed from last year? What can change? What do we need to change? And they're looking at the defense and they're like, we have all the guys we have. We have everybody that we wanted. We made the changes that we wanted. We got rid of Bobby and put Javon. We got Jalen. We got, like, the offense should be clicking. And they're looking and they probably, in their honest opinion, can't find an answer, which is kind of stupid because the answer is you guys just can't pick certain players right. And they're looking at it like, damn, like, you know, Deshaun, like, we know what the cost is. We know what, you know, potentially could happen. And for, you know, since January, like we said, has been just knocking at the door. You know, if it felt like draft night something was going to happen, and, you know, it didn't. And it felt like, you know, when free agency happened or started, that it was going to pop off, and it did it. And, you know, right before, you know, the start of the season, it felt like something was going to pop off, and it didn't. But I think the reason that we're all here is because tonight just felt different. Like with everybody, like the way everything was being said, was being portrayed, was being kind of announced, and kind of just spread out like wildfire. Like there was definitely some leaks that came out tonight, whether they were Dolphins related to kind of spark some, you know, market and negotiating for Tua, or where maybe it was, you know, Houston in itself trying to get other people involved. It definitely felt like it was different, right? And we're here because it's kind of like the time to talk about it, because it just feels like another indictment on this overall just staff and front office, where it's, you know, we're just throwing the Hail Mary of DW and saying, bro, save us, like literally.
Yeah, and we talked about it on the podcast. I brought it up. Brian Flores today, he had said, oh, because, you know, I've had some things happen in my life. I know how to deal with adversity, and, you know, that could see us through. And I talked about it on the podcast. Just because you've overcome some things in your life, and he has,
it's the greatest thing ever.
It just means that you're, you know, you're a good father, you're a good husband, you're probably a good person, you're a good man. Doesn't mean that you can handle this situation, this type of adversity. Doesn't mean you can handle professional adversity. And like I said, man, it's that old thing in the NFL, man. The guy who stands next to the successful guy always gets, you know, the benefit of the doubt in this league over and over and over again. And I don't think he's ever really felt any adversity professionally.
Good Lord, Joe Philbin's hiring he's the offensive coordinator for Green Bay. Man, he didn't do jack
he stands
shit
next to the guy. He stands next to the guy. He stands next to the guy.
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase is the same thing.
Oh, for sure. Adam Gase was once Peyton Manning propped him up.
Thank you, Stephen Pagliari, for the $4.99. Don't know. He said it feels like Miami Houston may have a deal agreed upon, and the last remaining obstacle is executing the Tua trade. Would this make it inevitable? Michael, you may now take control of your show again.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's exactly what it feels like. I feel like what got leaked out at the end or today, it was literally, okay, like the very last obstacle. Like, okay, what do we do with Tua? like who wants him? Washington, you kind of tapped in maybe a couple times. Denver, you were kind of in the Rodgers thing. Judy's over there. You could kind of work it out.
Yeah, I
And
have two other teams. There's two other teams, and I mentioned them on the pod. It's New Orleans and Carolina have interest in.
If he goes to
in
New
Tua.
Orleans,
He's not
I'm
gonna
gonna
play.
lose my mind.
I could be down with Carolina. I mean, you guys know my my passionate.
Hey,
love
we
for
always
the
wanted to.
Panthers.
We were talking about pairing up Joe Brady with Tua, right? It's just in a different jersey.
Yeah, just go to a different place.
Yo,
Now-
the
now-
little
now what I
Dolphin
was
dude
saying-
from Twitter would lose his fucking mind.
Now, what I was saying,
Thank you,
saying is that Brian Flores has never faced any adversity
No.
as a professional.
Nah.
What was the adversity? He was on a Patriot team that lost
Cam
Tom Brady,
can't
and they
throw a
went-
football.
and they went 11-5.
Well, and people that are gonna point to, well, his first season, nothing. His first
So-
season, we all would have applauded him if he went 2-14 because he secured the first overall pick. We wanted him to lose games.
So
There's no
it just
adversity
could,
there.
it could be as simple as, you know what? And this
People
happened
were
at
mad that
Gates.
he won the last game. Remember, even though it meant nothing.
Yeah.
Like it meant nothing in draft order. People were like, "Oh, why'd you win the last game? That's stupid." It's like the draft order was set going into the game. What matters? Like,
so it could be as
it's-
simple as Brian Flores is looking at it and saying, you know what, this is how he's going to deal with adversity. He's going to go nuclear. He's going to say, you know what, I'm throwing everything I have at it, and everything I have is a trade for a quarterback. So that way, it can't be me. You know what I mean? So
Well, and I'll say this. So today, at some point I tweeted something out. There's some person, and I will mention them now, at Bleed Aqua and Orange. I don't even know who the hell this person is. They don't follow me. I don't follow them. It was a fun little exchange we
Gang
had.
wars.
It was just
They're
this fun
0
little
and a
exchange
1,
we
Michael
had.
Christian.
Huh?
They are a 0 and a 1. They
Oh,
are computer
absolutely.
code. That's not a real person.
But I said, and I genuinely believe this. Only the Miami Dolphins could find a way to make a 1-5 season feel worse after already being 1-5, right? Because we are here talking about bringing in, like I said, a top 5 quarterback potentially, and it genuinely feels like there's such a somber mood right now. There's a somber mood on 3 yards per carry. There's a somber mood now, and I think all of us could agree. Take out the allegations. They never happened. Let's just say they never happened. Do any of us have an issue with this trade?
This is done in January.
Do any of us have an
Yeah.
issue with this trade?
This is fucking
No.
done literally
Okay.
after the Bills game.
Can I I know that it's been a while, but I just considering the somber mood, like I don't want to step on people's toes and talking shit. Like I just brought stuff up to like just kind of mention it and foreshadow later on. So a lot of people have been saying, and I think that it's just quite honestly ridiculous and hilarious that this is even an argument that's being made. A lot of people have been looking at, and it's funny because people say like, "Oh, don't be a stat watcher, don't do this, don't do that, don't do blah blah blah," right? But the whole thing is Deshaun Watson went 4-12 last year. You're not going to trade for him. He went 4-12. He went 4-12. Okay, well, bring him back to the roster, right? Let's bring it back up. You got Deshaun Watson, who had the most passing yards in his career.
This is
He had
so
37
tricky.
touchdowns.
I can't believe
Or
it.
33 touchdowns, sorry, and 7 interceptions, right? You had David Johnson, Brandon Cooks, who had a good year. Will Fuller, who had a good year until he got suspended. Farrell Brown was his starting tight end with Darren Fells. A Laramie Tunsil who held or had false starts on pretty much every single play and was leading, like had a bunch of penalties last year.
This is
and
this
who's on
offensive
IR
line.
right now? And who else?
very
Yeah.
true.
You know what? Don't
Like,
laugh. But maybe the
this-
Texans want us to take Laramie Tunsil, and the reason the deal's not done is because we're like, man, we don't want him. We don't
Like,
want him, and it's $22 million a year.
This team, you're starting Vernon Hargraves and Bradley Roby as your starting corners. Like I think it's so many people have been trying to blame Deshaun Watson for the Texans being bad. How about Bill O'Brien getting fired and then Romeo Crennel being your head coach? And if we put ourselves into what happened last season, there were at least 2 or 3 games. I think 2 were back to back where Romeo Crennel was the legitimate reason that the Texans lost a football game because of his time management and because of his poor coaching. Like, yes, the Houston Texans were not good last year, but Deshaun Watson was not the reason they weren't good.
Yeah, there's a
It was
stat.
his lowest
there's
interception year. Like, it's ridiculous.
There's a stat. I think
So proud of you,
ESPN or
Facts. I
NFL
told you
Live.
it's facts.
NFL Live had it. Deshaun Watson left the field last year as a quarterback for the Texans. He left the field for the last time in a game with the lead, like 5 times, which means he actually stopped playing with the lead.
He can't do anything else. He can't. Like, he's not on the field when they lose. I
Yes.
spent
Like-
all freaking winter screaming at people about this, and I'm just gonna. I don't even want to say too much. It's just Kai. You said it perfectly, dog. Like,
I feel like throughout all of this, and that's why I've been trying to harp on multiple shows. It's like I can understand certain things when like facts are brought into the situation, because I don't like talking about it. Like sometimes fictional stuff, yeah, you go through fictional stuff, and sometimes we all argue and we have things that we get upset with. But it's like, if we're gonna really sit down and have like legitimate conversations, like we should actually be speaking with factual information instead of just going, oh, this and that, and then turning around and being like, oh, but you can't be stat watching. Oh, Tua threw for 300 yards, but it doesn't matter. He had the pick. You're just stat watching. Like it's so ridiculous to sit there and like be like, oh yeah, they went 4-12. It's all Deshaun Watson's fault. No, they went 4-12 because their head coach got fired and the interim head coach didn't know how to coach, and the defense was horrendous to the point where JJ Watt looked like shit last year. Like,
JJ Watt at the end of that year walked out, and in the huddle they caught him, and he told DW, he said, "We wasted one of your years."
Yeah.
A Hall of Famer,
and it's true.
A Hall of Famer said that to what, a 25-year-old at that time. Like, there's a reason why this has been as big as controversy as it is. It's because I mean, Alf, I only go, you know my rule, like up to 2000, but like from what I know, there has never been a 25 of 25. I know, but there's never been a 25-year-old quarterback, franchise quarterback, that's been available the way he is.
Yeah, the only quarterback in the NFL. Like,
yeah, the only time I can remember something like this happening was when Dan Marino had a contract dispute, and supposedly the Raiders had offered like 4 first-round picks, and the Dolphins considered it, and then they said, you know what, this is stupid. Let's just pay him. Let's just pay Dan what he wants, and that's it, and let's be done with it. And that was like, I believe it was in 1988 or something like that. So Dan was like about 26 at the time. So I don't know.
I mean,
I will say this: it changes the team completely as far as.
Oh, there's no excuses.
Disposition going forward.
The playbook is wide open. You're running everything and anything. There's no limitations. There's no reason to run a ball on 4th and 1 with Malcolm Brown. Like, zero excuse. Like
no. And now
we'll see what this offense is supposed to really look like.
And
like,
now you actually go out and you try to improve the team by just buying people. That's just what you're going to do from now on.
Yeah, you're going to change your complete philosophy from being draft based to saying we're win now. We need veterans like a Lombardi Lenny. Like, that's the type of player you're going after. Like,
exactly. And what they're going to do is they're going to use their draft picks to try to buy either established players, or they're going to draft like, the safest possible players. You know what I mean? The safest, just like what the Steelers did with a running back. They say, this is a guy that we're just going to plug in and we're going to throw him the ball, like 10 times a game.
Sorry, you said his name and you mentioned him and I got excited.
You know what I mean? So that's who they become.
Football.
They're not going to be drafting for potential. Like, you'll be drafting like if you finish with which obviously this year is not going to happen. Like, if your pick is like 30 or 31 or like in the late 20s, obviously, maybe you pick someone who's not like fully established, but maybe could turn into something like eventually. But so much can happen to this team having that top 3 quarterback. And I think as much as like myself and Michael and CK, and I'm not sure exactly where you stand on everything, Alf, but like just, with everything that's happening with Deshaun, like, you just can't deny the end. People are saying, oh, NFL players won't do this. NFL won't do that. NFL won't do this. Antonio Brown has become like a saint in Tampa just when he was being made fun of for leaving the Raiders.
Yeah, winning
like
does that.
He's also like, he's revived his career.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It took him less than 18 months to become Tampa Bay's best wide receiver.
Yeah,
it's crazy. No one wants to even say it, but literally, he is.
Nobody says it. Nobody says it, and I feel like an idiot because I was in several fantasy drafts where I took Mike Evans or I looked at Godwin, and all I needed to do was just sit there and not pay attention to everybody else as they took Mike Evans and Godwin. Just take Antonio Brown in the 5th
thing
round.
Is Mike Evans has had a Hall of Fame trajectory, so it's hard to say AB's is going to come in there and
because Evans did it with every quarterback he's
exactly
played, right? The same
I traded Mike Evans like 3 weeks ago in fantasy.
Good. That was.
And I
actually a
just
pretty
trade.
good move.
I don't know if you trade him to me, but I just traded him away. So
I just
But you know what though? I will say this: if in the event that this all does happen and we wake up tomorrow with DW, I don't think I've ever seen the amount of talent for him that he's gonna have to work with down here. Because down here, let's say tomorrow it just happens he's here. He's having Gesicki, Waddle. I'm assuming we're keeping. Fuller's gonna come back.
Well, not if you were GM.
Well, yeah. But Fuller's gonna come back. Devontae hopefully gets healthy, which is odd because he's been hurt ever since his best friend got
him and
traded.
Fuller both are going to be healthy the rest of the year.
I don't know if that correlates
sure.
or not, but I could argue I've never seen Deshaun with that type of weapons.
I don't
you
know.
haven't. No, you legitimate. I mean, like what? Besides having D Hop, but like D Hop was his only weapon.
No, and there were seasons they had
Like,
D Hop and Fuller, but not at the same time because Fuller was hurt. So
Fuller was hurt. Yeah,
right. He won't have Fuller here either. Fuller will be riding that stationary bike right off.
Listen, at that point we would have those 3 TD games with Fuller once a year.
Listen, you want okay? Here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this outright.
Those Preston games will be nice though.
Yeah, listen, hold on, but I'm gonna
those
say this
4
outright.
Preston games.
You know the way that Juan gets whenever the Dolphins lose, and he comes into the show with like this like excited energy about him, right? And he's just like a different guy. I'm saying this
That's
now,
Randy.
and I have no problem saying it.
That's Randy.
If Deshaun Watson is our quarterback,
That is Randy.
I'm gonna be so much more elated after losses. I'm not.
But here's the look. So
I'm
like
not about it.
that, like
100%.
real
We're gonna lose.
talk,
I'm gonna
real
come into
talk.
every show like this.
real talk, right? If you're looking at this situation and whatever happens, he doesn't get suspended, whatever. And I know my personal feelings. I know your personal feelings. Like, and all these people that are saying, "Oh, I'm going to denounce my Dolphins fandom." It's like, dude, the first time Deshaun Watson
I'm out the effing
throws
door. I don't care what they
350,
win.
like 354 touchdowns and a Dolphins win, you're going to be sitting there like, okay, I want the authentic, like throwback Deshaun Watson jersey. It'll sell out in seconds, bro.
Beats the Bills and they give Flores a Gatorade shower for the first time he ever beat the Bills. It'll be all forgiven.
It'll be
First of all,
everyone will be like, he beat the Bills.
First of all,
that's what they'll say.
Brian
He conquered the
Flores
Bills.
has passed
That's
the
it.
point of no return for me. Brian
He's
Flores
our
has passed the
savior.
point of no return for me. So Brian Flores, I genuinely.
I just want you to know if this goes
You also
down,
gotta understand,
you got him for 2 more years at least.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I know that, but that's
you
why I
also
asked you
gotta
guys the question
understand.
yesterday.
You also got to understand it changes the entire media narrative. They become a sexy, must talk sexy franchise, and now you don't have everybody saying
Good stuff.
blows.
Yeah.
Let's now when they talk about us, even when we win, it's Tua sucks. And trust me, we talked about this. I was on your podcast, on your show a couple of weeks ago, and I said these people don't want him. They want him out of here. And if they could massage a way to get him no pun intended, to get him the hell out of here, they would. You know what I mean?
And I just want to be clear. Watson stayed healthy his entire career as well, right?
After his ACL, he hasn't missed a game. Well, he missed the game for back management.
Right, he hasn't busted any ribs up either.
Tearing it up when he came back, by the way.
He also hasn't busted up any ribs either at any point.
No.
Are we like, dude? Is this really like point blank, straight black and white? If the Miami Dolphins trade for Deshaun Watson, he does not get suspended, does not go to jail, they will have a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Point blank, black and white. Like that's just end of story type of like. It doesn't matter anything else that's happened. If this is the situation, he comes and it's scotch free. Whatever the situation, even if you don't agree with it, even if you have the same feelings that many people have about his situation. If he comes, everything's out of the window. Whatever they settle, whatever the situation, they have a top 3 quarterback. And as Alpha said, they go from being no one wants to talk about the Dolphins to will the Dolphins make the Super Bowl next year with Deshaun Watson? What pieces can they put around Deshaun Watson? What can they do with Deshaun Watson?
Everybody's been talking about us all offseason.
But not in that conversation. I love Tua, but no one is
the conversation now is going to be, they're winning, but this is how they had to do it. And the conversation is
no one's going to bring that up. No one is going to.
No one's going to care.
Yeah.
Michael,
The moral police will be.
I agree, Ryan. By the way, like I like don't like. I want to be straight up. I'm still been saying. I'm just pointing out what the actual situation is. I completely disagree with it. I think that it's horrendous. I think it sets a bad precedent for what we've heard and what we've read. Now, again, if every single thing, what did you say, Alf, that there's 8 left essentially that have to be settled now?
That's what they're selling.
So
That's
if
what they're
there's
selling.
if 14 are getting thrown away and there's 8 left, and those 8, like, so the 14 got thrown away because of insufficient evidence, whatever the situation, and the 8 come back completely false. First of all, that's the biggest surprise I've ever seen in my entire life. And then you go out, like, you're scotch free. You traded for him for probably less premium than you would have had to without all of these accusations, and you just got a top 3 quarterback in the NFL with nothing against him. Like,
I just think that regardless, like, if we really sit here and think about it, this year and however many wins we get absolutely have no meaning to us because we don't hold our first round pick. So if you're Greer and you're Flores and you're literally looking at potentially getting fired, you're like, well, fuck it. Like, we have no control over what pick we're going to get this year anyway. We'll go and get DW and maybe we'll sell some hope. And then by the end of the season, if he plays 5, 6, 7 games, whatever it is, and maybe wins 4, 5 of those, then you're looking at next year potentially going in with some momentum. Like, this looks like almost completely done to me. Like,
But again, I just want to say all the conversations that we've been having for 6 weeks now about coaching being bad, about draft picks being bad, we're just gonna. It's just like that, right? It's all over.
Completely gone.
Yeah,
like
it's
not that it's right. It's not that it's right.
But that's what I'm saying. No, I agree with you that that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But the fact that that's what it leads to, is still a mistake because if you can't build the team, you still can't.
But that's
build
why
the
it's
team.
happening, though. That's why it's happening. Let's be real.
But to Alfredo's point, building a team will no longer be your job anymore because people are just going to come here to play with Deshaun Watson
as long as he's here playing.
Right, but you can have that. You can have this little sourpuss attitude all you want, Michael Christian. The fact is, it's going to happen. Okay?
No, I know it's going to happen.
You have to live with it.
Really quick,
you have to live with it, bro. You can't keep lamenting like the nuances of it because everybody's going to throw that shit away the minute that man comes in here and throws a 4 touchdown game.
Throwing nothing away.
Something to add as well, on top of to prove all of their points and to just continue to hammer home Alf's point as well. I don't know if anyone remembers. I don't know if Royal does. Maybe Juan, Mike. I know you guys weren't on Twitter as much then. Alf, I think you probably remember. But when Bruce Arians first got hired and Jameis Winston had the 30 for 30 season, there was an account that was pretty much everyone believed was Jason Light's burner account. Jason Light is the general manager of Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jason Light was getting roasted and toasted because it seemed clear as day that this was probably his burner account. Yeah. And all of the decisions that he had made as general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from when he was hired to that point were horrendous. Jason Light gets Tom Brady. People come to Tampa because of Tom Brady. They win the first ever Super Bowl in their home stadium. Jason Light is being seen as the god of football.
Yeah. Like, and they started giving him credit for all the picks that they started saying that were
everything.
They were busts.
For everything that he had done that was wrong, all of a sudden he's a genius.
Yeah.
But they wanted him fired before that.
We're not saying it's right, but we're saying this is how the NFL works.
It's how it works.
It's about momentum. It's about narrative.
No, listen, hold on. No. I understand this. And I know all of this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But then don't come to me and tell me what I'm going to do as a fan. And just because they start winning games, I'm going to be all in on the Dolphins train.
No, we're just saying.
Nah, but that's all of you are saying to me.
We're saying that you sound. No, we're saying that you sound like an old man yelling at the clouds. Like that's what it is, bro. Your point is well founded, Michael. You are absolutely correct, and we know that this is all based off of what you feel morally. But what I'm saying is all going to be completely useless, bro. It's going to be useless, bro.
No, Kai, can you look up? Kai, can you look up the last time Miami had a Sunday night game? Because I remember
it was a loss anyway.
Like 4 or 5 years ago, I remember that.
Y'all better talk to Kendall up being hosting the show.
I think it was New England when we played New England and Jakeem Grant had that touchdown, wasn't it?
Don't be like that.
No,
Michael.
I think that was a Monday night football game.
Was it Monday night?
Yeah, that was Monday night. I'm pretty sure that was Monday night game.
If you're talking about Jay Cutler, that was Monday night. I don't remember if you're talking about Jay. I wasn't.
Yeah, I think it is Jay Cutler.
That's part of it too. The team has no national profile. You get Deshaun Watson.
October 28th.
Okay.
2019. They lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night. That was the cover 0 before
That
halftime.
was a Monday night. You said
Yeah, but that was
you said
Monday
Sunday.
night. I'm asking Sunday.
Oh,
night.
sorry, Sunday. I'm an
Yeah.
idiot. Sorry. I was like, for whatever reason, I heard Monday night.
That was the tank
Let me
play.
keep going back.
It might have been. Yeah, it probably was Cutler against the Raiders.
Fucking Flores.
No,
We
it
should've
wasn't
did that.
Cutler.
Damn,
It
I'm already
wasn't
4
Cutler?
years back, and I still
No.
have no idea.
Somebody in the comments said 2016. I'm not sure if we could trust him though.
I'm in 2017, and there wasn't anything. So let me see. 2016.
That's a bot.
2016, we had a Saturday night game against the New York
Oh.
Jets.
Yeah,
Ronnie
that doesn't
That's
said-
when
count.
Matt Moore came in, but
Ronnie's
that does not
saying when
count.
Jason Taylor had orange jersey.
Yo, those
That is
jerseys
not
were
2016.
ugly. You
Was
remember
I
that?
really that far back?
Really? I like the orange jerseys.
Oh,
Those
that
things
was
are
gross.
fire. Those
Oh,
things are
yeah,
I like
fire.
that.
Not the creams. Talking about. Not the creamsicles where we do Thursday
No,
night.
no, no, no.
I was
no.
talking
Talking
about the
oh my
Thursday
God, I'm
night
going way
orange.
back.
No,
Oh,
I'm talking about the
no,
OG
no.
orange where it's
Yeah,
just
the-
with orange and white
Yeah,
and
that
Ted
one
Ginn
was
with.
slightly better. That one was better than the creamsicle.
Oh,
but
you're wild.
still.
That was a top notch jersey, dog.
The
That
throwback is still always going to be
Yeah,
like
the
I'm-
OG
I'm-
the OG
the
Dolphins
throwback right
uniforms
there
are-
is I'm
Those
chilling.
top tier in the league though. Like those,
Yeah.
like definitely.
No, but
like,
right
top
now,
five.
even our throwback, I don't understand why it's not the permanent.
You talking about the
Bro,
one with
it's
the stripes
money,
on
dog.
it?
It's
The
money.
current- the
You
current
want
throwback.
Just for
8%
reference,
jerseys, so.
Just for reference, I'm in 2011 and still no Sunday night football game.
Okay, I think I'm proving my point here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your point has
Yeah,
been
but
proven.
but
already.
Kai's
I mean, I'm gonna
find-
keep
he's gonna
looking.
find- he's
I'm gonna
find
keep
one
looking.
back.
Yeah,
No,
try to
fine.
find the Sunday night game, which is the profile game. Those are
Found
the games.
it.
You found it. When was it?
2010. The Miami Dolphins lost to the New York Jets 31-23 on Sunday Night Football, September 26th.
Look at that.
That was at the Jets.
No, at home against the Jets, 31-23. The quarterback, it was Sunday, September 26, 2010, 8:30 at then Sun Life Stadium. It was a 3-hour game, and the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins was Chad Henne. He threw 2 touchdowns.
They won that game, didn't they?
They did not.
Told you that they lost one.
Yeah, they beat them. I think the year before.
What was the game with Ted Ginn where he caught that bomb in the orange jersey?
It was
that-
the year before.
Oh fuck me! Yeah, these guys always let me down.
Unless I missed a Sunday Night Football, which I don't think.
assholes.
But this is I'm gonna look back just
Hey,
in case I
they
missed
even
one,
let
but-
Dan Marino down, so let's do
Yeah.
that. Let's do that again.
Somebody
said
said
20
there's never a day
2017.
where we just can't talk about Dan Marino or like the 1972 season. Like it's just it's crazy.
Miami has a Dolphins.
What the hell else we got?
That's what I'm saying. That's
You
what
wanna talk about Ryan Tannehill?
We have literally nothing.
Let's talk about.
Oh, boom! I was
Jay
proven
Fiedler.
wrong. I was proven wrong. I did miss something. It was 2017, actually.
Jay Cutler.
Shout out to HB Sports. It was 2017. Thank you for that because I was proven wrong. I missed that. Don't know how I did, but I did.
Also,
Thank you.
Kendall's comment.
Kendall also said it as well.
And Joseph.
It was against the Raiders. They lost 27-24 at home. They went 4-4 with that, and the quarterback was Jay Cutler. 3 touchdowns, no picks, 311 yards.
Yeah.
Derek Carr went 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 300 yards.
They
Just
traded
stats
they
alone,
traded the
it's kind
farm
of
for that. You know, it's funny now that we're
embarrassing.
talking about Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler, when he went from Denver to Chicago,
Thank you to chat for that.
he was probably the closest thing we've had to like a Deshaun situation where like he was like the best quarterback you've ever seen available that young.
Is this a normal part of the Dolphin season where you start talking about Jay fucking Cutler?
No,
Jay
but
Cutler-
I'm saying there's
Yeah,
never been a
I've never been-
situation.
I've never
never
brought
been
him
in this
up
part of-
before.
I've never been in this part of Dolphins talk, so I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
asking.
yeah. He
This,
was a
well,
starting
but
quarterback down
this
here.
is close to rock bottom in terms of Dolphins for the past.
1-5 and trading for a franchise.
No. Time out. I'm saying where we are in the season, aside from
Yeah.
the trade rumors.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You
This
gotta
is the
understand
worst
one,
it's
I'm
been
a-
in a very long time.
You
Yeah.
guys are taking me on my maiden voyage of Dolphin fanship. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
you gotta wait for us to talk about Gus Farad and Cleo
Yeah.
Lemon and
Oh yeah, I remember those
yeah,
names.
yeah, we're
and they
getting
were
lit.
all horrific.
Yeah, terrible. Imagine growing up like that. You really create some trauma. It's crazy.
Cap, you're supposed to say the first part, which is something about Egypt, and then you say denial if you're gonna
Thank
spell it like that.
How the
If
hell did
not-
the Dolphins
if
lose
not
this
spelled
game to the
correctly.
Raiders that night? Think about it. Cutler went 34 of 42 for 311 and 3 touchdowns and no picks, right? Yeah, Kenyon
right.
Drake was 69 yards on nine attempts. He caught 6 balls
Nice.
for 35 yards. You know,
In
how
typical
the hell did they
Dolphins
lose this
fashion,
game?
underutilizing
Yeah,
your
like
weapons.
looking at it, it really is like I froze randomly, don't know why, but looking at the game, it's kind of weird to imagine the Dolphins lost this. Just for some fun history as well. Julius Thomas was a Dolphins tight end. Michael Crabtree was still Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper were receivers
Thomas. We
for
I bought
Oakland,
the hype on
and
Julius Thomas.
Julius Thomas
Marshawn Lynch was also a running back.
Julius-
Wasn't he like
And
six-
Cordell Patterson was receiving kickoffs for the Oakland Raiders that season, and now he's a fantasy football god.
Wasn't Julius Thomas like 60 by the time he got to the Dolphins?
Yeah.
No, he was
No,
actually
his
okay.
knees
He was
were
just-
60.
Yeah,
but
his knees are 60. That's his problem.
Yeah.
In that game, he caught 6 balls for 84 yards and a touchdown.
I think was that his best game with us?
Probably.
Probably.
It sounds like it.
You know, Damian Williams,
Oh,
who's
geez.
still doing it, by the
Super
way.
Bowl winner.
Yeah, 6 for 47 and a touch. Yeah, how the hell did they lose this game? They even shut down Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch had 57 yards on 14 carries, but he had 2 touchdowns.
Did Derek
And he had
Carr go
one
up?
22-yard run, which means that
Nah,
they
Derek Carr
really
didn't
shut
do
him down.
nothing.
Yeah, the Dolphins going Dolphin, bro. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Just to also kind of go through this, because there are a couple drafts maybe that because I know I brought up Jason Light, there are a couple drafts that maybe he shouldn't get too much like before, but he became general manager in 2014. First pick that he ever had was Mike Evans, Quan Alexander, Ali Marpet, Jameis Winston, of course, the year following that. This draft is just, I mean, second round pick for a kicker. OJ Howard, Chris Godwin in the 3rd round. This draft, I guess Vita Vea, Ronald Jones has lost his job thus far. And like they've been, I guess, like normal drafts, sort of. You know how he's had a couple hits. I think this past draft in 2020 was probably, you know, those top 2 are definitely hits. I think Tyler Johnson started to come on a little bit for them as well. So, you know, just to bring that up. But he was, you know, people wanted him to get fired. So,
And now he's a god.
And now he's a god. So, like, he was being made fun of. I'm going to find the thing because I remember I did have it somewhere, but he was being made fun of because they thought that he was a burner account.
I think just to kind of come back to like our Dolphins. Tua, we realize and I feel like we all know that the minute he's traded somewhere else, he's guaranteed to be a Hall of Famer. Where would you guys have like where do you think he will have like the best career if he goes somewhere else? Like, I feel like if he went somewhere like the Saints or something along those lines, I feel like he like perfect for him.
Yeah, I think the Saints are the prototype because they've had Tua before. And so they already know what it's like to utilize them. They know how to create those. Like the weird thing that the Saints did with Drew Brees is that they created like lanes for him with their offensive line to kind of like give him more room to see. The Dolphins can't do that, but I think they could scheme that over in New Orleans. So I think New Orleans would probably be the place where he could go over there and probably have instant success. They're already pretty solid now with Jameis Winston. So.
Although they take like a losing streak and they have Tua, maybe Tua gets the start. You know, you never know. You know,
so we think that this is going down.
Right? Yeah, I think it's going down. By the way, I got to shout out Eric Lawson. He has, in my opinion, the tweet of the day. Some guy tweeted at him. He said, "I fear for all the Dolphin fans that got puppies last year and named them Tua."
Oh my god.
And then Eric Lawson responds, "Dangerous game naming your pets after athletes who could get traded. Unlike my boy who I named R. Kelly Cosby."
Twitter should
just in case you thought that Alf was kidding.
Twitter should not be free.
Also, I want to. So okay, I understand. Like I understand everything with Deshaun and kind of how we're in a situation where, you know, you can't obviously believe everything that's getting tweeted. But there are some like Matthew Canada who is also tweeting out stuff that he has some information regarding Deshaun. I don't know how other people feel about said people. I'm just bringing it up because it's just more people that are kind of talking about it who have been in the Dolphins Twitterverse for a while. Like I just to circle back, like, do we think, and I guess I'll start with you, Alf, because out of all of us, you're the one that actually has any sort of knowledge. Do we think that this is actually happening before the trade deadline?
I think it's the only way it happens. Yeah, I think it's the only way it happens before the trade deadline. Because and I talked about this on the pod today. I really think that this thing there's a clock on this. Because think about it. November 2nd comes and goes. You have the rest of the season. The NFLPA is going to ask for answers come next week. They're going to need clarification of why Deshaun Watson is not playing after being out for 6 games. Okay? So that's going to start one drum beat right there. The second drum beat is going to be in the offseason. If he gets cleared and he goes to the market in January or February, because February is when they're supposed to hear some of these cases, right? But trust me, if they get dropped in grand jury, it's going to be a domino effect. It's going to be one after the other, and it's going to get mediated, and it's going to be done. Okay, yeah. If that happens, you're going to have at least 10 teams bidding for him, and then you're going to have a full-blown war.
Yep, and a war you're probably not going to win because
and a war that you don't have the assets for then.
Yep.
Because right now, I could draw it up in my head right now. This year's first, the following year's first, which remember they have 2 firsts the following year, right?
22.
So that means that they'll keep one of their picks, and then they trade 2 somewhere for a first. Right there, that's 3 firsts for Deshaun Watson. End of story. Deal's done. I think that's probably what they're trying to do right now.
You think so?
Yeah, and for anybody who's telling me, "Oh, you're crazy. You're not going to get a first round pick for Tua," yes, you will.
No, you can. You can.
If you're smart, late first round pick for Tua.
If you're smart, you could sell somebody on saying, "Well, Josh Rosen doing absolutely nothing went for a second rounder."
But there's a difference in the tones here, though, Juan, because Alfredo's saying you can absolutely get it, and you're saying, yeah, you could swindle someone out of a first.
Yeah, because the thing is that the other team could look at you and be like, "Well, you were the dumbass that paid a second rounder for Josh Rosen." Well, I'm not going to pay a second rounder. I don't understand why
Josh Rosen is in this conversation when Tua should.
Because there's never been a top 10 quarterback just get traded a year or 2 later. The only one has been Josh Rosen. So that's what you're selling a team on. You're saying this is a much better Josh Rosen. Yeah, you can get him for a first rounder, like Alfredo was saying. But if the team looks back at you and say, "Hey, look, I don't really care what you want. Like, here's a third rounder. What are you gonna do?" Because my thing is like, if they're sitting here and they're throwing it out to, oh, Washington's interested, Denver's interested, and then Denver 15 minutes after that, and Washington 15 minutes after that, they're all coming out and saying, "No, we're not interested at all." That feels to me like more of like Miami trying to create a little market there. In my opinion, if they ended up just giving away their 3 first-round picks and holding on to 2 as far as insurance, I don't think that's crazy. I feel like that they might go ahead and do that.
If you had to give a percentage to it, Alfredo, you're probably leaning somewhere around 80% chance this happens. This trade happens, probably. Yeah. Now let's play a little scenario here. 20% comes true. Trade deadline comes and goes, and there's no trade that is made. How the hell do you move forward this season?
You take your ass out there and you play football.
No. Yeah. But you gotta. But like from this standpoint, if this trade doesn't happen,
I'll say this: if Deshaun Watson is not a Miami Dolphin by November 2nd, I don't think he'll ever be a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah, I think at that point everybody's taking a breath of relief, and it's like, all right, it's done, it's over. Like we can just go play ball, and they might even play better at that point. Because say what you want, like this is a young team, and hell, you guys with the Heat, you guys saw that shit. Where last year. At the beginning, say what they want, but the young guys, they felt that pressure to, potentially get traded or not. Is Tua, and the other guys potentially feeling that as well? Maybe, maybe not, but it is a distraction and it is something that's been constantly brought up. And Flores, for whatever reason, has not shut it down at all. So it's like, at some point, it just feels like it's going to happen, man. It really does.
And to be clear on this as well, they drafted a guy at 5th overall that they, at least in your opinion, do you ever think he really got the full chance to be the guy here?
Hell no. Absolutely not. They were
Yeah.
benching him. They were benching him his first year. Flores wanted to be Bill Parcells and treat everybody like the same guy and do all this shit, and it blew up in his face, dog. Like you if a quarterback gets held to a different standard, and you got to help the guy out.
Yeah, I think Flores I think they were gun ho to draft him, and then when they said, okay, wait, we'll start him probably after the bye, and then the bye got moved up. It changed his timeline. Once it changed his timeline, then they started winning some games, and they're winning games a certain way. Flores is like, oh, you know what? I might go back to the other guy because I can't stand to lose a game here. Because Flores is thinking, you know what? I just got to accelerate this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then, year 2 of Tua came around, and Flores is like, wait a minute, now he got injured? Okay, I'm out. That's it. It's a lack of patience. And not only is it a lack of patience, it's kind of a lack of character, really, because you invested a 5th overall pick and you're treating it like crap. You're treating it like if it's a 3rd round pick.
Yep.
And if I'm Stephen Ross, I already said this before. If I'm Stephen Ross, I stay really, really coy about this, and I don't say anything. I let them do whatever they want, which is what me and Chris kind of agreed on the 3YPC podcast today, which is that everybody's thinking that Stephen Ross is like pulling all those strings and he's behind the scenes and he's hovering over Chris Greer and Brian Flores. That's not the case. He lets his guys do what they think is right. He has his football people for a reason. Okay. If I'm Stephen Ross, if I'm in the seat, as soon as they trade for Deshaun Watson, I call in Brian Flores and Chris Greer, and I say, who was responsible for drafting Tua 5th overall, for using a quarterback in 5th overall? Who used that pick? And whoever admits to it, I fire on the spot. And I say, you threw away the 5th overall pick. If you were intending on trading for a quarterback, you don't have any commitment to the guy that you took 5th overall, then what the hell are we doing here?
You could have taken anybody else 5th
Alf,
overall.
I gotta ask though, because I feel like partly Tua was the perfect prospect in everybody's opinion, right? As far as leadership, as far as clutch, as far as minute details of the game where you just don't see that from somebody coming out of college, right? Mm-hmm. And if I'm just trying to be fair with Flores, he got Tua and he realized the hip, is what it is going to be from now on. And maybe he's just not sold on what it actually is anymore. I feel like sometimes we think about the hip like an ACL where it's like, oh no, it's just a quick little fix. He's been out a year and a half. He's good. But I feel like the hip is a lot more delicate, and it's always going to be something that, in my opinion, is going to affect them. And I will say, I feel like it has affected him on deeper passes that he, in my opinion, would hit consistently in college, where sometimes I don't feel like he has the arm to get it there, kind of like that interception versus Jacksonville.
Well, but he had the hip when they drafted him, and then, last season he had some deep passes that he could get the ball out there, and I've seen him in camp. Like, he has no problem getting the ball out there, and his zip, I think, has actually come back this year. I don't think Flores has much of an excuse. If he was absolutely terrible, that'll be one thing, but Tua hasn't been terrible. Like, we put up the numbers, and we've gone back, 40, 50 years, and used like 100 prospects. Tua is in the upper half of rookie first-round picks. Quarterbacks.
I did the numbers for 16 games, and it would finish out to be
you did numbers?
Yeah, it would finish out to
99%.
be like it was.
Right.
It would finish out to
give
be
your numbers to Michael and let him check.
It would finish out like 3,400 yards, 21 touchdowns, and like 11 interceptions. That's what
and you know who did that? He got a nickname for it, Danny Dimes. Okay, and now he's back this year. He's playing well this year in the 3rd year after he took he had a bad 2nd year. So like, that's a decent rookie year.
Yeah, no, that for me, if you give me that 16 games in one season, I'm ecstatic, especially for that being your first 16 game batch. The questions and the nitpicking starts to be where it's like a culmination of 2 years, and are you going to expect the guy to play 16 games, let alone 17 games now? So I think, I want to sit here and be like, Flo, like, you're an idiot 100%. but sometimes I'm like, I can see why he hesitates, but dog, like it's your 5th overall pick. Eventually, you're just gonna have to trust and let it rip. But if you're not, just get rid of him though.
He made an assumption on his evaluation and he ran with it. Because like we said, all of us sitting here can say the same thing. Tua never got the chance to be the guy. He never got the full. Here's everything. Do whatever you want. It's 4th and 1. The ball is in your hands.
I think they'll sell themselves on saying they gave him week 1 and week 2 was just a freak accident. And then you saw him week 6 look decent or above average, like we've been saying. And they're saying, yeah, we need elite right now.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like,
not good enough one. I don't think that's good enough to say that. Like
you drafted him at 5th overall.
You did not give this man a fair shake at it, bro.
Oh no, absolutely not. They gave him no chance to succeed. They gave him absolutely no anything. But the way they're gonna sell it to themselves is, look, we got him Fuller, we got him Waddle, we got him one of his buddies. You know,
who he never played with.
You got him fucking killed. That's what you got him by starting Jesse Davis.
Listen, I'm just telling you.
You guys want to laugh a little bit?
Oh, please listen. This conversation is just entirely if that's the man we getting. If that's the guy we're getting, shit, I love Tua. To ship his ass fucking anywhere.
Jeff Howe, and Aaron Rice of The Athletic are reporting that the Texans have also talked trade about trading Deshaun Watson to the Eagles and the Panthers.
I mean, they could talk to an XFL team, but
so
Deshaun got to sign off on that.
This has been one massive campaign, one massive bullshit campaign by the Houston Texans. How do the Dolphins not go to the commissioner with this and say, "Look, these assholes have derailed our season"? You know, destroyed the confidence of our young quarterback.
No, listen, I just watched, what was it, like the second to last episode of Ted Lasso, and they said a line that's true. It's the hope that kills you.
Okay.
No, it's just a line. It's the hope that kills you. Don't give me this hope. Don't bring in other teams to it. Okay? Don't make me think, God, there's a chance we don't get him, because you know I'm gonna be all on board for that. Ooh, ship his ass anywhere
but like,
else.
all right, let me throw it to y'all. You know, you sit there and you got DW, Russ, and you got Aaron Rodgers. Who are you going for?
DW is last on my list because of everything else.
I'm going to take myself out of this conversation because y'all know damn well what I'm finna say.
Aaron Rodgers is like a lock, man.
I go Aaron Rodgers number 1. I go Russell 2. I go DW 3 on that list.
I go Aaron 1, DW 2, Russ 3.
I think I would go Russ just because I could get 8 years out of him solidly, whereas Aaron might be like a 3-year thing.
But I kind of like that with Aaron.
And one of them's gonna be a Super
Hold on
Bowl.
a second. I like that with the Aaron thing though, because of this. Hold on. What's the year that you always say, Juan? You who are on this show, not in general, but on this show, the biggest Tua doubter, right? What's the year that you say Tua's gonna get it together and he's gonna be the guy on the team?
Year 5.
You get 3 years out of Aaron Rodgers. What does that put Tua at after that?
Year 5.
Yeah,
but you're saying get Rodgers and keep Tua?
You can't.
That'd be
yes,
nice.
You can.
I'd be nice.
Why not?
Damn.
Why not?
Nice.
He's under your control. Why not?
There's no rule.
They're not playing him. They're not giving him a chance now.
Right. So why in the hell would he stay here when he has a potential to go?
Because he can't go anywhere else.
He would demand a trade.
And we'd sit on him.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. If they sat on Deshaun Watson, I mean Tua, you got no pull.
And then they sit on him.
They're gonna look at you sideways.
And this is for your boy Rodgers. What are we doing?
I actually would do that, Michael. I like that one.
I like the idea. I just don't think it's feasible. I think if you get in another quarterback in there to be your starting quarterback, then you're going to get rid of Tua, bro. I think that's just how it's going to play out.
But why?
Because they already shown that they don't believe in him, Michael. Like, that's why.
Let him sit behind Rodgers. Ooh, that would be amazing.
They still won't believe in him after that either.
Yeah, by the way, the Knicks lost, which is fucking awesome. And
my dad's gonna hate because he's a Knicks fan, man. Poor Richard Starlgism, man.
Somebody was asking in the chat if I was crazy thinking that Danny Dimes is having a good season. His brains fell out of his head last game, sir. Okay, but before then, he had quarterback ratings of 90.7, 102.2, 90.9, and 108.5. Then his brains fell out of his head against Dallas. Okay, he shouldn't have been playing last week.
Not to mention his head coach is Joe fucking Judge.
So. Okay, so yes, Danny Dimes is having a good season until, of course, he has head trauma.
Did he
that
have-
his coach didn't give a shit.
Does he have a rookie wide receiver?
Did he have
who-
Ben McAdoo, the Wackadoo? Like, did he
Nick
have him
just-
as his coach?
Nick
as well?
just went into overtime according to chat.
Really?
It was Joe
Holy
Judge, the
shit.
coach that took the names off of the back of the jerseys and tried to pretend like that would help the quarterback recognize.
That's a Belichick thing. Belichick gave Mac Jones number 51 for like 3 weeks and said, "Oh, you got to earn your number." Hey, shut up! You're gonna give everybody a fucking number.
But that's Bill Belichick, and this is Joe Judge we're talking about here, Walker.
Well, remember,
Wait.
Michael
Wait.
holds no respect. Michael holds no respect to Bill Belichick, so you got to remember that.
So
I
That's
do
not
very
what I
well
said.
so.
That is not
Of
what I
all
said.
people, Marcus Smart tied the game.
That bum.
That is not what I said, Juan. You got to fix that.
You said he's
What'd I
not
say?
the greatest quarterback of all time.
I said he's not the greatest coach of all time. That's all I said.
Yeah, because you're stupid.
Oh, that man has enough jewelry to like. You know what? It's all right.
Man.
I'm not here to defend Bill Belichick. We're like that's not the path we're gonna go here.
Oh, by the way,
That's
you
where
know,
you're going.
You gotta understand. Stephen Ross, is also looking at this whole thing, saying, "You know what, man? I'm
80
nowhere."
fucking one. I'm 80 fucking one.
Bro,
I
you
put
remember-
Yeah.
2 billion plus into this fucking thing, and y'all
Yo,
you
low.
give me 1 in 5. Like fuck
Yo,
this, bro.
Yeah, and he's looking at the Heat that's going to start in a day, and the Heat are like kind of contenders for the East. And then he's looking at the Florida Panthers, who are undefeated. They've won 3 games in a row. Just finished smoking the fucking Tampa Bay Lightning, who's their arch nemesis and the best team in the league. And he's like, "Holy shit, I'm third in this town." Not anymore.
Oh,
no
wait,
more.
wait. Alfredo, correct something that was said on here yesterday about futures being brighter or less bright
Oh my!
with a
fucking
baseball
God.
team.
Oh my
What are we talking
god.
about?
Oh well, the Marlins.
Michael's
fucking
Michael's
Marlins?
being petty.
Michael.
Michael-
Hell
Michael's
yeah,
petty.
being
Michael,
petty.
bro,
'Cause
stop
y'all don't
trying to
understand
defend
shit. I'm trying
the
to talk to the
Miami
only person that
fucking
knows
Marlins
this
right
stuff.
now.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm trying to talk to the only person that knows this stuff because none of you guys have watched a single inning of baseball probably in years.
First of all,
gonna say
I
a
watched the
quarter of
Mets.
baseball.
Literally, I watched the Mets. So fuck
Wait,
you.
so you're a Mets fan?
Yes.
The hell?
Kai's everywhere, baby.
I'm a Met fan too, by
No.
the way.
Not
I'm
really.
a
It's
fan
just
of
that I grew up.
I'm-
I grew up a
I'm
Giants
Kansas
and
City
Mets
Royals
fan.
fan. I'm
Oh,
a
but
Kansas
that's
City
New York,
Royals
actually.
fan.
That's a tough
I haven't
one
been
to
to New
figure
York.
out why.
What? Why I'm a Kansas City Royals fan?
Yeah,
Most
I don't
complicated
get
thing in the
that.
world, bro.
I don't
Most
get why you
complicated
like
thing
the
in the world,
Kansas
bro.
City Royals.
Hey, bro. It's a mystery to us all.
I gotta admit this. Every single time I watch the Knicks play,
Watch
by the
Real
way,
Sports.
Celtics just started off with 3. I should do play-by-play of this game.
You
But yeah,
should.
every time that I watch the Knicks play, I have to admit, every time I see RJ Barrett's face, I giggle a
God.
little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Stop. I can't
You
see
do-
RJ
you do
Barrett after
anything-
Royal.
Yeah,
and
you watch
bro,
anything with
I
Al.
can't. I
You
cannot.
can't. RJ Barrett, you
You
lose all respect.
cannot, bro. And it's so bad because I will never say what they said, but oh my god.
I said RJ Barrett looked like he still drink out of separate water fountains. That's what I said.
You can say it, I'm not gonna say that.
Alfredo,
Alfredo, here's the real question. Who's been the sadder organization over the last, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 years? The Knicks or the Dolphins?
The Dolphins.
the Knicks
Nah,
made
Nah,
the
the
playoffs
Knicks
last
had
year.
Melo. The Knicks had Melo, bro.
Uh,
I don't know, bro.
What,
Yeah, but
what
when
was
the
the
Knicks
timeline
had
you said,
Melo,
Mike?
That
Well,
still
last
was so
10 to 15
stupid, bro.
years.
They should just like Melo is so stupid. You should just waited and signed with the Knicks in the offseason instead of trading away your whole team to move now. That was still so dumb. That was a
and
fucking
they
idiot.
had good Dalo Gallinari, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like so
They
stupid.
had Raymond Felton was on that team when they traded him. And Raymond Felton
Yeah.
had the best season of his
R.I.P.
career like before that.
Yeah, and then they got him back. And then do you remember that team that they put together with Amari Stoudemire and Tyson Chandler? And they were talking about that they were going to take out the Heat.
Oh,
I
for
laughed
sure.
my ass off, man.
They're
And
like
then the playoffs,
Texas
they
when
had-
they said we're back.
Amari
I remember when
Stoudemire broke his fucking hand punching a fire extinguisher after getting his ass.
I
kicked by
remember.
Miami.
Do you remember before that series, Stephen A. Smith saying, "I don't know. This thing could go 7. It can't.
Yeah,
I don't know. It could go 7. I can't call it either way." That
Was
shit
that,
was
was,
a
that,
fucking
was that the year with
beatdown.
Insanity or was that later on?
huh?
That series was a beatdown.
Was that the year with Insanity or was that later on?
No, that was the same year.
Yeah,
That
was it the same year?
Yeah, because Melo missed time that year and then came back. That was the year that Amari Stoudemire started out in the MVP conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
and then the
he
Heat
was
played him in
fucking
the
balling.
first round.
And they
The
were
Heat had a
much better
3
before Melo.
Shit out of them.
The Heat had a 3-0
What?
lead, and I
That
would
team
never
played better in the
forgive.
regular season before Melo got there.
I will never forgive.
Okay. They
I will
weren't
never
better without Melo.
forgive. I will never forgive the Heat having a 3-0 lead and Dwayne Wade missing that little bunny jumper to put him up 4 with like 50 seconds left. Remember? Then the Knicks come back to win it on a Melo 3, and they go absolutely berserk. They drop the confetti. And next thing I'm looking at it and I'm like, everybody's soaked in confetti, and the series is now 3-1. Like, really?
Is
So
that Ethan
sad.
is that Ethan being 5 Region Sports?
No, that's Kai.
Oh, I was about to say.
You know, Ethan doesn't watch this show, bro. Chill.
Hey,
Every
bro.
like,
I think he
I
watched
was
it for the first time the other
trolling.
day.
I was
He
trolling
realized-
Ethan on
Watch it
his
for the first
show
time,
this
yeah.
morning with Gad, bro. I was trolling, told him to let Gad talk. That's why I thought it was Ethan.
What is Kanata saying? Because he's putting out like a lot of, cryptic things.
so there hasn't been any Twitter Spaces yet, but there's supposed to be a Twitter Spaces popping up soon. I just bring that up because, well, one, anyone that knows me knows that I'm close with Kanata and PFN and whatever. But
saying plug, bro. You got the plug, dog. Just don't you
Oh,
got out your plug.
no, that's my friend. That's my friend. No, I'm friends. That's all it is. I ain't got no fucking sources or anything, bro. I don't front
Bro, you
with
got
people like.
salsas, bro. Stop.
No, I
You
got
Juan-
barbecue
you
sauce
got
in my
Juan
mini
and Juan
fridge.
You've got
Look.
Juan, and Juan has reliable sources.
I got all the sources.
We know
bro.
he
They're
doesn't
bots.
have reliable
They're
sources,
bots.
but
I talked to myself.
like I think to steer back to the Deshaun conversation,
Sometimes
like
you need
I think
expert
it's
advice,
just
Juan.
I think again like I think I can agree with you, Alf, how you mentioned like if it doesn't happen like by the second, it's not going to happen at all. I just think like if they do trade for him, like there's no way he gets suspended this season, right? Like unless the court cases go really haywire, like there's no way that he's
no, he has to
he's
get
playing
convicted.
this year, right?
He'll play this year. Yeah, he has to be convicted of something. They can't suspend him for an allegation.
I'm about to say, he'll play
NFLPA
for
won't
me.
allow it, especially since he's already sat out 6 games.
So in you guys' opinion, because it feels like to me, Ross and Goodell had the conversation they had during the game, and nothing happened until Tua kind of came back healthy and had a good game. Does it almost
Do you think they were
feel
waiting for that?
that's
Waiting
what I was
for
gonna
Tua to
ask.
have a good game
That's
for
what I
them
was
to
gonna
then be
ask.
able to sell him high?
To me, it feels like a culmination of fuck it, we're 1-5, and Tua had a good game. Like it's like the time to pounce. Like 2 weeks before trade deadline, it just feels like it was like a perfect storm to me, and it's just like here it is.
It'll be just like this stupid franchise. If they said, you know what, we'll wait for Tua to come back. We'll play him these 3 games, and look, in these 3 weeks, he's the best quarterback in the NFL. All right, let's go get Deshaun Watson. Like it'll be just like this franchise to do something as stupid as that.
The Dolphins going Dolphin.
Yeah, that's like at the end of the year, Flores and Greer sitting around saying, "Hey man, Tua threw for 38 touchdowns this year. That's really going to help us sell him for a first-round pick."
But
That shit makes my blood boil to think like that. Go ahead.
but Tua's not the guy. If you're reading Tua's not the guy. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Read the comments,
no,
guys.
No, stop. Right now, Flores and everybody is saying Tua is the guy. He's just not the guy for us. We just want to do right by him.
Yeah,
And
I need to get these last 2 checks in for these last 2 years.
yeah.
I would like a re-up at the end of 2 years, and they're going nuclear, man.
They are.
It's all it is.
It's to that stage. That's literally where we're at.
If they beat the Jags, you think these conversations still come up the way they did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Especially if it was because of Tua.
If they beat the Jags, Flores is convincing himself, if I could get Deshaun Watson here before the Bills game, I beat the Bills and then I go in the division. That's how Flores is probably thinking.
They're that
And that
narcissistic.
could, I mean, if we're being real, if Deshaun is healthy and in shape, like Deshaun's
He
top
could do
quarterback
it.
in the NFL, so
He
he
could
could do
do
it. Like
I'm not saying.
I know we're criticism and everything, but like I'm not saying like we're not saying that we're saying, but we're saying,
like we're not saying 9-2 is possible,
I'll say it.
but
But-
9-2 is possible.
I'll say it. The clear.
I'll tell you one thing.
Mike doesn't seem.
So
to
is that
agree.
you think that like
Oh,
I mean obviously
I
that
would
game
love for
happens
them to
after
go
the
2-9
trade
with him.
deadline, but so we're saying like you want to get him in. You're assuming Alf by like, I mean shit. You can't like if you go and you make this trade, let's say by like Friday and Tua's gone, then right? You starting Jacoby Brissett on Sunday, but like you're having that. But you want to make that trade by now, right? Because you can't just like you don't want to make that trade by let's say like next week, and then only have like a week and a half to prep with Deshaun before the Bills game. Like you want to make that preferably like before Saturday. I'm assuming.
Probably that's probably what they're thinking. They're probably their thinking is probably as delusional as that. Like we're trying to get Deshaun here before the Bills game. You know,
And
which
these are the
is
same-
all kinds of stupid.
Right,
but
and these are the same Bills that just beat the Chiefs, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's those same Bills.
Yeah, they
And it's like
found a
it's those
Well,
same Bills.
they're
that
the same
they're
Bills
like-
that they're
There's
the
no
same
Josh
Bills that
Allen
lost to your
regression,
old
guys.
quarterback Ryan
sorry.
Tannehill for the second year in a row.
what you say, Juan?
There's no Josh Allen regression. He's back. Yeah, he's a monster. I ultimately
Not you saying good things about him.
nah, yeah, I know it's crazy. But no, I think the bye being late in the season kind of plays into it as well. I mean, you're guaranteeing yourself a week to like be able to regroup with him. It just feels so shitty to be in like to have it all happen the way it is. Like if you're gonna say, you know what, I don't believe in Tua, and you do it before the season, all right, I could have got that. I could have understood that. I don't agree with it, but I could have understood it. But now it's literally just desperation. He's gonna save my job, and that's what I got to do. And I think I don't know. I haven't listened to the 3YPC episode. I usually listen to it in the mornings the next day. But I do feel like the Dolphins are being in a way arrogant as far as the backlash that that's about to ensue, because the minute it goes down, like I'm expecting people like at the practice facility, like not rioting, but like protesting, because it's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna be a lot of emotions. There's gonna be a lot of employees who are gonna have to potentially feel a certain type of way about this will work inside the Dolphins organization, right? And I think they're being a little cocky with how it's gonna go down, and them probably thinking it's gonna be just smooth.
Sorry, Cat.
But that's
Cat,
just
shut
me.
up, dude. What the hell kind of comment is that?
It's
This guy
one with
0
I love
points.
It's like the
God,
fifth time that
yo.
he's tweeted it.
yeah, bro.
Oh,
It's a comment with zero like situational awareness. Like I get it, bro. It's like, that's
And let me
You
and
can
let me be
hate
clear
Tua
about
all you
something.
want, but my
Let me
guy-
be clear about something. Like PFN has this story where it says that sources tell PFN insider Tony Pauline that the Dolphins head
I
coach
was
Brian
about to
Flores
bring it up.
and GM Chris Greer are on the hot seat, and there are some people in the organization who have given up on Tua Tagovailoa. Let me be clear about that. I've talked about this before. There's this thing around the Dolphins called the Wise Men, which are Dolphin alumni. And when people think it's just Dan Marino, Nat Moore, Kim Bokemper, and Joe Rose, it's not. It's OJ McDuffie. It's like 30, 40 people who are ex-football players, ex-Dolphins, who hang around the team, who are either in media or are essentially connected to the team, either by charity or by jobs. And they have a say. Not that they have a say in personnel, but they talk to the media. So the more that they talk, they'll create a narrative like this. And there's some that just don't want Tua Tagovailoa as a quarterback, period. And it looks like they're going to get their way because the drumbeat that they probably started a year ago is probably going to be successful.
Bro,
Yeah.
And there's that silence.
Jalen Brown is going dumb in this game, bro. He has 46 points. That's
Jeez.
career high.
Nice.
All right.
Well,
I
is that
feel
how
like-
we wrap it up, Mike?
I guess so. We're gonna probably keep talking about this for the next 2 weeks. This is all we have to talk about. I mean, the
Like-
only thing that matters with this team right now is the quarterback position. So
Mike,
I
you're
mean,
such
that's-
a negative
that's-
Nancy right now, bro.
I love it. I felt like so
I do. I
alone in
love
this
Spicy
world
Mike.
when I walked into like the season being so negative, and now it's like I'm home, guys. Like, hey, what's up, negative? Hey, what's up? I'm being negative too.
You know
We're
my
being
favorite part
negatives
about
together.
this? My favorite part about this is going into like Houston Texans fan accounts on Twitter and seeing what they want. Like, there's some people that want Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland, and Xavier Howard.
Plus 3
like
first-round picks and 2 second.
Hey,
rounders.
hold on a second. Juan might trade away Jalen Waddle and a couple first-round picks to make it happen.
Nah, because if Jalen Waddle can't produce with DW, then that's a bust, guaranteed. So we're gonna work it out.
I thought he was
we're gonna
already
play
a
it out.
bust, bro. That's what you told me.
I think we could replay the whole scene, and I never once said he was a bust.
God
Michael wants to argue. Michael wants to argue.
Mike. That's what I'm saying.
What?
Jesus.
You want
Mike,
listen?
you're
Listen.
so testy tonight, bro.
Oh hell yeah! This is upsetting. I'm not gonna. This is.
I
upsetting.
feel you. I feel you.
No, I
feel you.
know, Mike. I know. We're here for you, brother. We're here to.
It was like
bro.
hey, who's the quarterback we've been talking about for a solid year? We finally drafted him. He comes into the building day one. Nah, this ain't the guy. Fuck you drafting for?
I thought you were talking about the other quarterback we've been talking about for a year now.
Because then here's what's gonna happen, right? It's just like Alfredo said. They're gonna sit everybody in the room. Who's the one that drafted Tua? One person's gonna raise their hand, and they're gonna fire that person, which again speaks to some damn dysfunction.
You think so?
Because everybody should have agreed on it.
Maybe I just haven't seen enough Stephen Ross, press conferences. I don't think he has the balls to sit there and ask Brian Flores and Chris Greer, which one of you motherfuckers drafted Tua, and after that say, okay, you fired. If
we believe Omar Kelly, he says that 2 years ago when he hired Brian Flores and he elevated Chris Greer, that Stephen Ross sat down with the two guys and said, look, I'm older. I'm leaving a lot of my boards in New York. I'm passing off some of my duties to my VPs, and I'm not even going to start traveling. I'm not even going to travel to New York that much anymore. I'm going to be around here more. I'm going to be in the draft meetings. I'm going to be in the personnel meetings. Omar Kelly is convinced that Stephen Ross knows where all the bodies are buried. So if you see somebody get fired,
about that today on the podcast.
So Stephen Ross knows where the bodies are buried in this one. Okay,
dig them up. Dig them up. We're already 6 feet under.
This man,
so
we're 5 feet under. We're only 5 wins.
Michael is an agent of chaos tonight.
Oh hell yeah! Listen, this whole season has gone straight to the shitter. Immediately there.
It'll get a lot better.
Yeah, if we made a list before the season of everything that could go wrong.
That I said.
No. You said things that could go wrong. You didn't predict that all of it was going to go wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
no,
I felt like every week,
he was confident
every week
that
I would come in and say like 10 things that could go wrong, and then at the end of the season, 100 things that I said would go wrong all went wrong. But I just never sent them in order.
Yeah, but you also dumb.
Yeah,
for sure.
You could say that
broken
these
clock
are
is
all
right
the
twice a
things
day
that can go wrong, and if they all go wrong, then you're gonna be in the toilet. But usually, not everything goes wrong. Like maybe half of it goes wrong.
If that's like an average year of half goes wrong. Here, everything has gone wrong. Literally, there has not been a single thing that has gone right, other than Tua, I guess we could say.
Hold on.
No, he went wrong
Kendall
too.
wants me to make a spreadsheet. I'll make a spreadsheet.
No, I'm talking about I guess, yeah. I was thinking like the last game. Wait, what?
Yeah,
I'm making a spreadsheet for Kendall.
Michael, because Michael's spraying rounds through the glass right now. That boy. Everybody,
it's all right. We're a supportive group here, so we understand that our guy.
No, we're not. You and I yelled at each other for 8 minutes about the 6th overall pick after 6 games. Don't nobody support each other on this show.
But now we're here. We're still here though. So this is me supporting.
I support Kachi and Chisholm.
Guys, the Knicks have a 2-point lead.
Hold on.
With 146 left in overtime, and all of New York is ready to take to the streets.
Real quick, I'm just gonna. So I did make a spreadsheet real quick just for Kendall. Okay. Here's my spreadsheet. What do we think? Is this the spreadsheet we're talking about? I just want Kendall. This is for you, bro. Just you. This is my spreadsheet.
Could you? Never mind.
Can you put your ad and then tweet that out?
I got nothing else.
Mike, can you? I got something that you got. Could you say "fuck" future Miami Dolphins quarterback Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, just to be accurate.
I'm saying this now boy, am I gonna dance every time this team catches an L. Ooh, I'm gonna come on this show.
What you gonna do when they win?
Huh?
What
I'm
you
gonna
gonna
be
do
just
when they
as
go
somber
9?
as I
That's
am right
exactly
now.
what you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
do,
be just
What
as
you gonna do
somber
when they
as I
go
am right
9 and
now.
2? Oh, you gonna be pretty
I'm
calm.
gonna be
at 9 and
somber
2.
as hell.
Bro,
Okay.
I'm gonna be
if
somber as hell.
we somehow finish 10-7,
And go on a run in the playoffs.
Okay, no, but dead ass. Let's be for real. You said the Dolphins were gonna start 1-4. They were gonna finish 9-8. They are now 1-5, and we can all agree he got outcoached by Urban Meyer.
Fingers.
Correct?
Hey, since we like to sometimes talk about the worst case scenarios, I got one for you.
Oh, please hit
Let's
it.
do it.
Hit it.
You want to hear it?
Yeah,
You want to hear like really awful?
You look
Yeah.
manic. You
Bro,
look like
he
you're
looked-
gonna go off the
Look,
edge.
Nah,
he
nah,
Like, you
nah,
wanna
when he
see-
said that, didn't he?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Like something really get me off of that screen. Yeah, something really awful. I got one for you. They trade for Deshaun Watson this week. They go 9-2, including beating the Bills.
You
in
make it to the
Buffalo.
Super Bowl. Don't fucking.
They
tell me.
make it to the playoffs.
And then he get it.
They smoke in the first round. They get past the second round. They get to the AFC Championship game, and Deshaun Watson goes to war with Patrick Mahomes and loses in an overtime field goal. The offseason, they get everybody, and they're the talk of the town. They're headed to the Super Bowl. And Deshaun
Turn it
Watson
up.
gets
Yeah.
hit for an
Uh-huh.
18-year sentence, and his life is over.
Oh, shit.
But like,
Okay,
And
hold on.
then the
Okay, well,
Dolphins,
time
and then the
out.
Dolphins have to trade a first-round pick
for
to the
Tua
New
back.
Orleans Saints for Jameis Winston.
Oh my fucking! We're not even getting Tua back. We're getting
There's
With
hope.
that being
Because
said,
at that point, Tua's already in New Orleans, and then we're like,
Right.
hey,
And he's killing it. And he's
here's
killing
your
it.
first rounder. Here's your first
Eating.
rounder. Give us Tua back. And New Orleans says, like, you know what?
You're gonna have to
Keep
pay
the
us.
young man.
He just threw for 33 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. You know what the hell you're getting him back.
And you know what though? If there was anything to say about the Dolphins and their history, I could see that exactly happening as you described to the T.
Yes. To the
Well,
T.
and at the end of the day, too, the Dolphins are going to be wrong no matter what once they get rid of Tua, right? Because Tua goes somewhere else. And he
Once
sucks.
I think they've been wrong.
No, but time out.
Before
But
Tua.
Tua goes somewhere else and he sucks. You guys drafted him way too high and put your franchise in a bad spot. Tua goes somewhere else and succeeds.
Oh,
You guys couldn't do shit for Tua. You guys suck. They're in a loss situation no matter
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends. Because
Unless they keep him. The only way to turn it around is keeping him and him being good. That's it.
Because
No,
if they
it's
let's
not
say they
working
trade
for
him
him.
away,
Yeah.
and in this scenario they get back either DW Russ or Aaron, and
Oh,
he
give
goes
me-
and
give me those
sucks,
other two,
and he goes and he
please.
sucks somewhere else, right? You can sell it like, oh, well, yeah, I know we fucked up and drafted him, but good thing we got rid of him quickly. That's what they're gonna do.
There's been a few instances of like teams that have just said, you know what, fuck it, and threw their hands up and just made a move. And it tends to work out, right? So maybe it works out for the Dolphins. Remember Denver? Denver couldn't find a quarterback, man. And then they said, you know
Oh,
what,
damn.
we're just getting paid.
Oh, Simba. Oh, it's so sadly true.
Yes.
The one guy that was always rooting for you, Flo, and you totally turned your back on it. This is like, hey, I got your back, guy. Nah, guys, get rid of him. I don't like him. Like a team that's all about honor and being built the right way, and you turned on a 5th overall pick after
Well,
12.
to be
What if
fair,
Flo is
they-
the guy
they-
who loves Tua?
He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's
let-
not.
You give
we
the
don't
ball on
wanna
4th
get
and
it-
1 to
we
Malcolm
don't want-
Brown.
we
I
don't wanna
know
get
it's
into
not
it
you.
too deep,
I
like,
know
but,
it's
like,
not you.
It's not him.
It's
Like, there's no
not.
way
Mhm.
you're benching him twice for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and you're doing it with a smile. Like, there's just no way.
Mhm.
Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, dog. Like, I'm sorry, and like, they after Tua went and got injured, I'm sure they sold themselves the dream of, oh, well, we're gonna win at least 2 of these next 3 with Jacoby. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have our defense and.
Because he was that he's like, I'm that good a coach. I'll win games even with Jacoby Brissett.
Yep.
I bet you
And
suck.
that first Colts game was the first punch in the mouth where I felt like he kind of got dazed as a boxer, and he just he hasn't. I know you still.
That's how I feel about Evan Fournier.
I
at
love.
this
I
point.
I
All right,
I love.
Kanata,
I don't
are you
agree.
seeing
I
what
feel like
Kanata
Tua might be
has
like
said?
finally to get out. Like he's just
Nani.
excited.
Oh, you don't know what Nani means. What?
I've been listening, but I've been listening. If that makes sense.
I've been
Okay.
listening, but I've been listening.
Well, I got a little spy report here on OnlyFans. Somebody's saying that Canada is saying that they want to acquire Watson as an asset and keep Tua. And then, I guess, play the field. And then if Tua balls out and the Watson stuff clears, then they move him. If Tua struggles, they play Watson. I don't know.
There's no fucking way they trade for
Bro,
Tua.
I don't.
Or trade for Deshaun and say
If any organization were to do it, though, Juan.
no.
But
But
of the 32,
I could see them trading for Deshaun and keeping Tua as a backup. But you're not gonna tell me you're gonna trade for him, and until he sucks, at that point will you make the change? Do you realize how stupid you're making us as fans look and feel when you're telling us, don't worry, the minute that he sucks and he's terrible and you want a new quarterback, we got one for you. What the fuck? No, that's horrendous. Like, no.
Yeah, essentially what that's saying is that Tua is auditioning for a year.
With his
doing
replacement already in the roster.
Yeah, and you think Tua's gonna want to do that? So Tua's gonna audition for what? For his next team? No, if I'm Tua, I'm like, you know what? Fuck you.
I'm sitting down.
They're gonna push him to the point where he's gonna have to spaz, bro. He's gonna have to spaz.
Because somebody brought this up. If Tua's not traded before the Atlanta game, I mean,
I don't think he's going to be though, dog.
My
gut feeling is they're going to keep him.
But I wouldn't blame Tua if he wanted to sit. I don't blame him.
He can't.
No, I'm
like,
I understand. I understand why he can't, but I understand why he would want to.
It doesn't matter if he would want to.
He's not going to want to because
it matters whether or not
he
plays.
they're going to call him a bitch.
That's like
he goes out there.
No, that's career suicide at this.
Yeah. Like it doesn't matter what
does not want to sit, bro.
As much as it's understood,
I understand that.
Be like,
it's not even worth talking about.
Tua goes out there behind that offensive line. He gets one more injury. Where's his trade value go?
It doesn't matter if he sits on the bench.
Tua sits. Where does his career go? Both answers are the same.
Somebody will give him a chance.
No. I think he could sit. Yeah. I think he could sit. I 100% think he could sit. I don't think him sitting somewhere or even here would be like a complete end of him. I just don't agree that the way they're going to lay it, the way that Canada's laying up.
Not talking about benching him one. You're talking about voluntarily sitting. I don't think Tua can do that.
No, yeah, he absolutely not.
He can't do that, Mike. Like that doesn't make sense for him to do in any circumstance.
Behind that offensive line, shoot, I wouldn't want to play behind them either.
Yeah, but if you sit, then you're never going to play behind any offensive line ever again.
Yeah. Oh, I think somebody
or in the X. Yeah, you could go into like the CFL. He'll be like,
yeah, you won't be an NFL quarterback if he does that, Mike.
Somebody would take a chance on him,
bro. No,
New York Knicks superstar Evan Fournier with the winner.
I hate.
All right, guys, I gotta bounce.
This is where we say, yeah, this is where we start to sign out. Mike,
you do it. I have a no mood.
I love this energy.
All right, well,
Rest
bye.